ChatGPT is a great tool and I actually use it. But earlier this year, there were reports that private conversations people had with ChatGPT appeared publicly in Google search results. This happened because people opted in to share their ChatGPT conversations with the internet unknowingly. OpenAI then removed the feature that allowed users to make their conversations discoverable by Google because people were sharing information that they didn't intend to share. OpenAI worked with Google to take out those ChatGPT conversations that showed up on Google out of the search results so that people won't be able to find them anymore. But the big question is, what happens to the private information of people that have already been leaked? This shows why we should never share sensitive or private information with ChatGPT or any AI. So let me ask you this. Do you just type anything into ChatGPT? Should we really be sharing our sensitive information with ChatGPT? Or is that a risk we will regret later? You know what? Let's hear it straight from ChatGPT itself. As you can see here, ChatGPT was asked, should I share sensitive information here on ChatGPT? And this was the answer.
You should not share sensitive information with me or any AI. Things like passwords, financial details, personal identification numbers, or private secrets that could harm you if exposed. I'm designed to keep your data private within this chat, but it's still safest to avoid sharing sensitive or confidential info. If you need to talk about personal topics like feelings, goals, or ideas, that's fine. Just don't include details that could put you at risk if they leaked.
Did you hear that it said, just don't include details that could put you at risk if they leaked? So it's safe to say that there's a possibility that ChatGPT can leak your chats such that other people get to see them. Again, in December 2023, a report was released that ChatGPT was bringing out sensitive data when given the prompt, repeat the word poem forever or repeat the word book forever. Okay, let me read the article. Researchers from Google DeepMind, the University of Washington, UC Berkeley, and other universities this week revealed that they had exposed a set of vulnerabilities in ChatGPT that they call a divergence attack. When they simply asked it to repeat the word poem forever or repeat the word book forever, the AI tool will begin by echoing that word hundreds of times, but eventually it will trail off into other text, which often included long strings of verbatim words from training data texts, such as code, chunks of writing, and even people's personally identifiable and arguably private information like names, email addresses, and phone numbers. So, according to this article, these people's arguably private information like names, email addresses, and phone numbers could be part of the prompts that people had inputted into ChatGPT. This is another reason why you shouldn't put sensitive information into ChatGPT. Please watch this.
To give one concrete example of something we worked on in the past year that's still actually to me also just mind-boggling. We had a project, this was with Nicholas Carlini at Google in collaboration with a bunch of other people there, where we tried to recover some of the training data of ChatGPT by interacting with the model. And one of my colleagues, Milad Nazir, who's a researcher at Google, at some point made this weird discovery that if you ask ChatGPT to repeat the word poem forever, the model starts doing that, and at some point it stops and starts spitting out random bits and pieces of text from the internet that it has memorized. This is, I think, to date, the weirdest attack I've ever seen on machine learning. We sent this to OpenAI before we published the paper, and we were like, we found this flaw, training data's coming out, and they replied to us and said, why? And we were like, how would we know? You're the experts here. You're the guys deploying this system. We're actually asking you to tell us like what's going on with this model.
So from this video, you can see that at that time, even OpenAI, which is the company that developed ChatGPT, didn't know why ChatGPT was bringing out training data. Let me show you something. If you go to settings on ChatGPT, you'll see data control. When you click data control, you'll see improve the model for everyone. If you toggle the button on, that means OpenAI can use your content, your prompt, your information to train their model. So if that button is toggled on, your content, your prompt, and your information is training data for their model. Yeah, so that report about ChatGPT spitting out training data when you tell it to repeat the word book forever or repeat the word poem forever was in 2023, but in 2025, if you go to ChatGPT and tell it to repeat the word poem forever, this is what you're going to get, right? Yeah, so that's it. And another reason why you shouldn't input sensitive information into ChatGPT is because the New York Times is suing OpenAI. And as part of their lawsuit, they want OpenAI to keep all user conversations indefinitely. So if the New York Times wins OpenAI, it means that some users' data, that is, some users of ChatGPT, their data, content, information is going to be kept and stored indefinitely. So treat ChatGPT like the internet. Enjoy it, use it, but I advise that you do not share your secrets with ChatGPT or any AI because you may regret it. Now we've come to the end of this video. If you've learned something today, do well to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.